I'm Rob Stevenson. I'm the co-founder of Beach Guardian.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's about half the group. You're going to go and you're going to take some beach cleaning bags and you're going to walk along the strand line. Who knows what a strand line is?
Beach Guardian started in 2018. We're based here in Padstow in Cornwall, and we aim to engage, educate and empower against plastic pollution. We organise community beach cleans, community events, and get as many people onto the beach or engaging with beach marine plastic pollution as we possibly can.
You guys with wellies, you're going to walk along the strand line looking out for pieces of plastic, but I need you to get to the very far end because there's been some reports of some fishing gear, so you need to recover that and bring that back.
Five years ago, Beach Guardian started a Christmas tree project at the sand dunes at Constantine Bay. We noticed that an area of the sand dunes were becoming eroded, and this was due to the extreme weather conditions that we were getting. So we'd seen this idea about planting Christmas trees. Started on a small scale where we just basically had 30 Christmas trees. We came back the following year, we put more in, and then the event has grown to be a really successful community engagement event.
Being involved in an event like this is absolutely fantastic. It makes you feel part of a group, part of a community, and makes you feel that you've got lots of friends around you. It's an absolutely wonderful experience. I love it.
Well, it makes you feel great because you're sort of doing it with all sorts of people, some of whom you know, some people you've never seen before, but everybody's here with the same aim of recycling their Christmas trees and, you know, trying to actually reinforce the dune.
What we wanted to do was find a natural way as possible to get the sand dunes to start building up and recovering. And the idea is that people have dropped off their Christmas trees in the week after Christmas, so when the tide conditions are right, we get a whole system of people, they drag them across the beach. We have a team of people digging holes and digging trenches, and then the Christmas trees are wedged into these trenches. The sand gets trapped by the branches and it starts building up and storing sand.
We've been coming to this beach for nearly 40 years and it's been incredible to see the dune grow around the Christmas trees. You would never think something so simple, one day a year, could actually have such an effect on the dunes at the back of this beach.
The Christmas tree has given a second smile to that child, and everybody puffing and panting, but they're all enjoying it. They're all working off a couple of mince pies, and it's a great day and it's extremely sociable. So it's nice to return something to the beaches after using them all my life.
Outdoor spaces, particularly this lovely beach here, are really good for walking, for mental health, and particularly the sand dunes need to be preserved.
So when the sand dunes become damaged, when they become exposed, lots of the marram grass and the natural shrub gets destroyed, and therefore the sand can be blown away and it can be lost. The sand dunes are a really fantastic carbon store, and they can store carbon for decades. Once they become eroded and damaged, they can no longer do that. So the sand dunes are also really good for protecting whatever lies behind the sand dunes. So it could be a farming business, road systems, it could be a golf course. So it's important that we protect our sand dunes and we make space for sand. As part of the FiPL funded project that we've been doing for the last 2 years, we've collaborated with Cornwall Wildlife Trust and the Making Space for Sand project. And what's happened is they've sent ecologists down onto the beach to identify the different species of plants that are on each of the sand dune systems. And at Constantine Bay, for example, we've got lots of hebe, which is an invasive species that shouldn't be on the sand dune system.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
This bit here. That's great, and that bit there.
Very difficult to remove the hebe, so with volunteers arriving and helping and working together, we can dig the hebe, the invasive species, out of the sand dune system, and then when there's a space of sand, we can replace that with the marram grass.
Okay, so this is a good area for us to dig up marram grass with a good amount of the root system. It doesn't take much, but that will survive in there. So I'd just keep gathering in your hand until you've got a good load between you, and then we'll go over and transplant it.
The marram grass is a fantastic natural way of knitting together the sand on the sand dunes. So the marram grass grows really deep roots, and the roots hold together the sand. When Hebe comes along, it takes away and takes over the marram grass, and therefore the marram grass gets replaced by the bigger Hebe plants and the blackthorn plants. And what happens is you then get in this low cover with different root system that means that the sand dune system is much more fragile.
If I didn't have spaces like this, I'd feel quite bored and trapped.
If we didn't have spaces like this, I would feel a bit, I wouldn't say angry, but like something was missing in the world.
It makes me feel quite sad. Pollution and global warming, it's causing animals to lose their homes.
We know from speaking to young people, we know from speaking to our volunteers, that people are often worried about the effects of climate change. We have seen in the last couple of winters some extreme storms. We've seen more storms than we're used to. We've seen the storms are becoming more extreme. So the sea is coming up a lot further, a lot closer to the sand dunes. It's eroding the sand dunes at a faster rate. And we really were worried about the end of the dune system in particular, and whether it was going to then make the rest of the dune system more fragile and less stable. People are worried about the effects of climate change, especially when they're able to see it firsthand. When you go down after there's been a really bad storm and you can see the effects that it's had. But the work that we're doing at Beach Guarding means that people can see the difference that we can make to the sand dunes. We're protecting the front of the sand dune. There's more of it building up at the front, there's more of it building up at the top and at the back, and therefore they're going to be more resilient and able to stand up to the extreme weather conditions that we've got.
It feels good because I can see the difference it's making on the environment.
It just makes me feel like good about myself that I can be part of the solution.
I'd like to see more people cleaning the environment and looking after it.
Yeah, the changes I would like to see is like helping the environment and I think making the world a better place.
What we've been able to do is come together as a community, lots of volunteers, lots of people coming along from schools, colleges, universities, getting down onto the beach and taking action. They've been coming along to understand about the effects of climate change, about how nature and how the dunes are dynamic, but also how they can make a difference and they can benefit their local environment. Now it's really looking like a fantastic, healthy and dynamic dune system. So what we want to do is do this on other sand dune systems. We want to help other groups and organisations and volunteers to be able to do this. And what we want to do is to demonstrate best practice that we can remove invasive species. And we've got to the point where we've been able to do some amazing marram grass transplanting workshops. We're really fortunate in Cornwall that we have these amazing places where we can enjoy nature, where we can connect with the environment, where we can be around the sea. Everybody wants to do the best that they possibly can to protect this for future generations.